so excited. I'm so excited because I waited for like way too many years to become a Being You certified facilitator. That's Being You Adventures. There's like intros, 1 day classes, and like Being You with relationships, and Being You with money, and Being You and Being You and Being You and Being You. If you didn't already know, like Being You is the key to everything. Like everything. Like everything. Anything you've ever desired in life. Be you. How many of you are giving up you so that you can have the relationship you want, the money you want, the life you want, the living you want? Because that's the first thing you're supposed to do, right? Is like give up you so that you can have something or someone. Well, the Being You classes are going to help you be more you. Now, it's like the thing I always thought was funny is like if I went on a date long before I ever even knew what access consciousness was, if I went on a date, people would be like, just be you. And I'd show up and I'd be like, oh my God, how the fuck do I know if I'm being me? I'm nervous. I'm like sweating. What do they want? You know, does she want me to look at her? Does she want me to not look at her? Is it good if I look at her body? Is it bad? What? Well, what if you could just be you? And that actually created everything you desired in your life and actually created a change in the world that, well, just changed the whole freaking world. That's why Dr. Dane here wrote a book called Being You, Changing the World. A lot of people think it means you're supposed to change the world and that's how you prove that you be you. No. Being you changes the world. Like I had someone be like, well, that person's just being them and it's changing the world. I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point of the book. So I'm finally a facilitator of these classes, which I just kind of like put it off. I was like, I'll just go be me on my own. But I did not. I kind of forgot one of the things that I've just discovered is like when you start to teach someone or facilitate someone of anything, you have to know it differently. And you get to know it differently. You learn it differently because, like, everybody else starts asking you questions that you never even thought to ask. And you're like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And I'm just really excited right now to facilitate. I don't have anything scheduled yet, so I'm not here to tell you about that. But to just facilitate my first Being You anything. Now, there are like intro classes in Access Consciousness called Stepping Into Being You. I have facilitated a couple of those, and they're extremely fun. Now, why am I just talking about the facilitation of it? Well, because it's fun. It's like so much fun. Facilitating is so much fun. And facilitating and all the tools of Access Consciousness are really all about being you. Like, what is that? So, I'm trying not to give you a whole class here. And I'm also kind of like, well, I haven't facilitated the class, but it's also kind of like, what do I know? And so, let's start simply. And one of my favorite things is if you were choosing being you, or if you were choosing to be you today, what would you choose? Now, if you're like, dude, I don't even know what being me is. Now, my favorite tool from that book for this, and I used it dynamically to really begin creating the life and living I desired. And so now I've just gotten to a point where I'm like being it more than I am having to actually think it and write it out and things like that. But you can ask for 5 events. Come up with 5 events in your life when you were crazy happy, things worked really well for you, money was easy, sex was easy if you were looking for sex. Like anything you ever asked for just came to you with ease. You didn't worry about anything and you're just excited to live and enthused to be alive. Now, if you're like, I've never been enthused to be alive, it's okay. That's why I'm bringing this up. We're just going to ask, okay, what moments in my life have I been being me? When have I been me that I haven't acknowledged? So you can ask that right now. When have you been you that you haven't acknowledged? And I'm going to run the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. If you want more information about it, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. And if you, what did I say? Well, everything that brought up, times of Godzilla would destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket bottle, nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive when you have been you, will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket bottle, nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now I did this, like I literally did this because I was like, oh, I can only come up with like one. Like there was this time when I traveled abroad, like left the United States for the first time in my life, and like when I was getting on the airplane, I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited, this is gonna be so great. And then the girl sitting next to me was like, I'm having a panic attack. I'm like, how can you have a panic attack right now? We are going to Fiji. Fiji. I don't know if you've ever seen Fiji, but it's postcard stuff. If you've ever seen a postcard with palm trees, beach, like white sand, like crystal clear water, and people just like, yeah, it's so cool. That was Fiji. It was amazing. And it was, wow. And that was the first time I ever really left the United States. I had to get a passport to go there. I had never had a passport before. Yes, I was one of the 80% of Americans that did not have passports until this time. And that for me, and like when I moved to Australia and I was living in Australia, I was studying abroad. And when I asked my dad, hey dad, can I study abroad in Australia? And he was like, yeah, I love broads. I thought it was funny. I kind of did study abroad. I got a girlfriend, but she was from the United States. I was like, well, I was supposed to get an Australian girlfriend. What the hell? Um, Story for another time. But what I did, I could only remember like one or two. And if you don't remember any, just start here. Don't start with the conclusion of, I don't have any. I've never been me. Wah, wah, wah. That's not really going to get you anywhere. So just start asking, when have I been me? Have I ever been me? And if I have, when have I? So if you've ever been you in this lifetime, when was it? And everything that doesn't allow you to become aware of it, cognitively especially, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Again, that's the clearing statement. What that does is we're just bringing up a bunch of energy of like all the things that don't allow you, especially like because most of them you've created yourself. You're like, no, like a conclusion of I've never been me before. So like all the conclusions of I've never been me before, we're gonna like say, can we just let go of those now? Like just not have that as a conclusion. I understand, I get it. I realize that you think that that's real and true, but just for like a little bit, we're going to be like, let go of the fact that it's real and true. And maybe allow a different reality to show up. So that different reality may just be you discovering, oh my God, there was that one time. Because I had several, and I continued to become more aware of moments and times in my life when I was truly living, truly happy, and truly being me. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Which is weird because for me personally, my brain isn't really on record when I'm actually truly happy and being all of me. I'm just like, la 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 la, and like having way too much ease in my life. So everything that doesn't allow all of this to be total clarity and ease for you, will you destroy and create it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all nine shorts, boys and girls. Now this is just the beginning because as we ask to become aware of those moments, then you're going to also take these things. This is stepping a little bit more into things. You're going to take those energies. We're going to be like that time in your life. Get a sense of that energy. So once you've created this list of 5 things, get a sense of all those 5 things, and now start asking for those energies to show up more in your life. Huh? Like, don't ask for them again. Don't try to recreate it. I mean, I always got, people always hated me as a chef because I would never make the same thing twice, and I never remembered any of the ingredients I used. And people were like, dude, you would make awesome stuff, and then you'll forget the recipe. And I'm like, yeah, well, I already made it. So I'm going to make it different next time. So, not that you have to be that way, but it's more of this aspect of like, don't try to make the same thing exactly again. Because if it's mashed potatoes, potatoes are different. You can't use the potatoes you already used. You ate them, and now they're not potatoes anymore. So work with what you got now and ask for that to expand, because whatever you had in your life already, what if it could actually be greater? Because we end up spending all this time trying to recreate the past when what's actually possible is greater than the past, and the potatoes are already gone. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Being You, coming soon from all sorts of kinds of places and spaces and faces. Because I'm a Being You Certified Facilitator now. Bye.